Hello everybody, it's Piggy here by myself because Cloud needs to get herself ready. We're going to record some things later. I'm going to do my top 8 Odd Eyes deck profile. This is a deck that I used to get top 8 at my local tournament. And yeah. Let's do the profile and show you what's all got. First, we're running 3 of Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon. This card is a very big playmaker for the deck. He pretty much makes the deck like any plays you need or anything. Arc is normally tied to the hip too. He's a great starter, ender, and just amazing for the deck. Next we play 3 OG Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Now, this guy, there wouldn't be an Odd Eyes deck without him. He's a great ender to the game. The double damage is amazing. It makes sure that you get the punch when needed. And even if you brick him or anything, his pendulum effect allows you to destroy him and pretty much get any, 1500 or less attack Odd Eyes, or not Odd Eyes, just pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. It's so helpful. And not to mention, he will make Arc activate, because Arc, whenever something is destroyed of the Odd Eyes name, you get to summon Odd Eyes straight from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is really good. Next up, we play 2 Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon. Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon is just Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon for burn damage. Pretty much, if he inflicts damage to your opponent, you can go ahead and inflict 1,200 extra damage to your opponent during that battle phase. And when it comes down to pendulum effects, Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon goes ahead and gives any monster that attacks, not just Odd Eyes, any monster, 1,200 attack during the battle phase. It's extremely helpful, and it doesn't even need to be on your turn. Next up, we run 3 Odd Eyes Persona Dragon. Odd Eyes Persona Dragon is the monster you normally go into the scale with. You always want him in the scale if you need to, when you're not doing your plays with Electromite, of course. And even if you'll see a card later we have in this deck that you can just summon him and you'll use his monster effect. Which is monster effect, you can pretty much quick effect target any extra deck summoned monster your opponent controls and just negates effects until the end phase. And it's not a hard once per turn, so if you have 2 of them on the field, you can negate multiple at once. Next up is our almost second best normal summon of the entire deck, Odd Eyes Mirage Dragon. Odd Eyes Mirage Dragon is just a really good extender in this deck. You always want to see him or use him. He's like the face of this deck, which is amazing. You only play 2 of them because you never want to see him in your hand, really, unless you need it. Next we play a new Odd Eyes card, Odd Eyes Phantasma Dragon. Now, this card I was thinking about removing out of the deck, but during the tournament, he was the star of the thing. Because if he attacks any monster, you can make them lose 1,000 attack for every card in your face-up extra deck, which is extremely good. And yes, he might be a level 8 monster, but that doesn't stop anything because you can just summon him out with the Arc. And his pendulum effect is probably the main reason you at least want to play 1 in this build, is because you can discard any card to add any Dark Dragon. Is it Dark Dragon? No, just Dragon pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. It's a very, very useful tool to get your Mirage, your Pendulum Dragons, your Phantoms, and your Personas back. Or even this guy. We are playing the Darkworm engine in this deck. This is mostly the one you want to throw out and get everything, like, he's your playmaker. You want to start with Darkworm if you can, because Darkworm just gives you clear... Darkworm is advantage. That's pretty much the best I can tell you. And to go on with our other engine, we play the Chronograph engine, where we play him and Time Gazer. The Chronograph engine is very helpful. You always want to go into Chronograph with your Electromite in this deck. If you already used Chronograph, just throw a level 7 dragon into your extra deck. Won't change anything, it just helps with the plays. And now we're playing the next card, freshly off the ban list, Tempest, Dragon Ruler of the Storms. Tempest is amazing in this deck. Pretty much anything you want, Tempest can handle for you. You just banish some of your cards and just... it's hard to say how good Tempest is in this deck. Like, he just does so much for this deck. Like, he's good Xyz fodder for you. And you can see in this deck we do play the Guardragons. He's an amazing summon off of LP for this deck. Next up is our Omni Dragon Brotar in the deck. Brotar is very good. If you have Tempest in your hand, you don't want to summon Tempest. You summon Brotar. Because Brotar just gives you another dragon to summon in your hand, and just, he's really good. And just, oh, when I seen Brotar, I knew he'd be perfect in Odd Eyes. Next we play 3, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Any veteran can tell you what it does, just pure negation out the board. And that's it for the monster lineup of the deck. Give me a second and I will get to the spell and traps as I get rid of them. Alright. We only play spell cards in this deck. Trap cards are nothing to this deck. First we play 3 Sky Iris, an amazing card for the archetype. It's one of the better starters if you have Arc Pendulum Dragon and any other Odd Eyes card in your hand. It's an amazing starter, because you can just get out your Mirage instantly and go into your Guardragon plays. And like Electromite's also a possibility with this. It's just amazing. Next we play 3 Spiral Flame Strike. Spiral Flame Strike is the searcher for the Odd Eyes archetype. You just activate and you can add a level 7 from your deck to your hand of Odd Eyes, or you can destroy a card if you control an Odd Eyes card. It's truly amazing what you can do with this card, and the fact that it's not a once per turn, hard once per turn on each effect is just amazing. Like, if you activate the destruction effect, you can still search off of it. And if you activate the search, you can destroy. Next up is 3 Duelist Alliance. This is a really good card for Pendulums. Like, if you have a card that has Pendulum in its name, you gotta play this deck. In the deck, like, you play Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum, Odd Eyes Pendulum. It's just an amazing card to get what you need fast. Next up is 3 Called by the Graves, because Ash is a death sentence to this deck. And yeah, Called by the Grave is also helpful for getting rid of combo pieces from your opponent. If you're fighting like Orchist or anything, it's really handy. Next up is the Dragon Shrine to dump your Darkworm in the graveyard and just Oh, it's just good. And one Summoner's Art just to grab Arc when you need to. It's pretty simple that way. Now we're going to move on to the extra deck. The extra deck is jam-packed with cards you can use. That it's not really a budget extra deck, but you'll be able to get most of these probably very soon, and it will be very easy. First, we play the Guardragon package, Agripane, LP, and Pisty, because my god, these guys are amazing in the deck. You just use Mirage or Darkworm and you can just easily get what you need fast. Next, this is the card I was talking about that we talk about later. The Hieratic Seal. It's a very good negation because you can pretty much tribute it to spin any monster back to your opponent's hand. If it's an extra deck monster, that's even better because they'll go back to the extra deck. But afterwards, you can summon Persona straight from your deck and have another negation on the field, which is just insane. Then Electromite, you really don't have to know why you play Electromite. It's pretty much the best card for Pendulums in the extra deck. Then we play Triple Burst Dragon for the Guardragon combos and everything. Triple Burst is one of the best things for like going in from your like Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon to go into. It's just awesome from Electromite to that. Then we play Saruja Skuldred. It helps rebuild hands. Saruja Skuldred, literally, in my opinion, needs to get banned soon. If not, like, now, sometime soon. Alright, well, one second. The camera kind of lost its balance there for a second. There we go. But yeah, Saruja Skuldred is an amazing card in this deck, and I don't know what I'd do without this card in the deck. Speaking of cards I wouldn't know what to do without, Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon is probably one of the best Odd Eyes cards for extending. Like, the fact that you can even sit on him to, like, stall out your opponent during the battle phase is something good, but if this XE summon card is sent to the grave, you can just get an Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon straight from your extra deck. It's just amazing. Next is just a card we play to stall out the opponent, Red Eyes Flare Metal. Red Eyes Flare Metal isn't needed, and I'm thinking maybe trying to get rid of him someday in the extra deck, but so far he's doing his job, and that's all I care about. Next is number 11, Big Eye. Big Eye is a very helpful card for any rank 7 build. You need Big Eye constantly when it comes to fighting stuff like, I don't know, Thunder Dragon, because you could just steal their Colossus. It's just awesome. Next up is Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. You normally never go into this card. It's more of a card you summon off Absolute if you absolutely need to. But he's only in there just because you need him sometimes and you can make him with Ashes. Now for the cards you can summon off the Guardragons before we get to the last and most important card of the entire deck. Ignister Prominence, just for those negates and those spins. It's just awesome. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, just for those negates and all that damage it can do. And Red Hot, for pretty much being a blanket negate for anything in the entire game. And this is the most important card in any Odd Eyes deck, I say. Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. I want to play him at 2. I think I might play him at 2, personally. He is an amazing card for the archetype, and the archetype wouldn't be anything without him. Pretty much, when it's summoned, you just negate anything. Or, no, sorry. That's when your opponent activates something. You can just negate and just shuffle a card from your extra deck back into your deck. It's just awesome. And when he's special summoned, it's not even fusion summon. You can just spin a card on the field back into the deck. That's super good. Alright, but with that, that is the end of my top 8 Odd Eyes deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry for it being not that effective of a deck profile because literally this is the first time I've ever done it. I don't know if you guys enjoyed it or not. I hope you did. And I hope this deck can see more relevance because it's extremely good. It's a really good sleeper deck. One you never expect to do good. Alright, with that, this is Piggy, and I'm out.